resurrection of Jesus over 2,000 years ago have to do with me or my family or my marriage today? Well, in the spring of 2009, I was pacing this very kitchen floor early one spring morning. 8 years prior, my family, we had gone to Vietnam to adopt our son. He came over a very wounded, broken little boy, and we spent 8 years trying to love him back to health and really thinking that we could do whatever it took. My prayer from the beginning was that God would make this little boy want to fit in our family and that he would heal him fully. Well, God answered part of that prayer. During those 8 years, we went to therapists, we went to doctors, we had 5 surgeries, we went through counseling and special ed and all different kinds of interventions to try to help this little boy fit into our family and to help us to accept him and be the family that he needed. Turns out, at that morning in 2009, we had been without our son for 6 weeks. Another family had stepped in to become his family. I couldn't believe what was happening. My life sort of felt like he was on a freight train just barreling down the tracks, going as fast as it could go, and I was running along after it, trying to keep up and wanting to make sure he was okay. I knew I couldn't get on the train, and he couldn't get off, and I didn't really understand it, but I had this picture in my mind, and I kept thinking, God, just get him to a train station where somebody's waiting for him, because I can't just let the train go. Well, he brought this other family into our lives, and at this time, he had been staying in their home and doing well for 6 weeks. So there I was, that early morning before the rest of the family got up, walking around this kitchen and kind of looking at the ceiling and praying loudly and crying, this isn't what we wanted, God. Why would you choose us to go all the way around the world and bring this little child back into our family only to take him away? It doesn't make any sense. What is going on? Our family's falling apart. What are you doing? And then here came the doozy of the questions. Are you really asking me to give up my son? The moment those questions flew out of my mouth, I remembered what day it was, Easter Sunday. And I just wanted those words back. I wanted to gobble them right back up and shove them down my throat. I braced for the lightning that was surely going to strike, or for the 2x4 that was going to hit me in the head, or the frying pan logic that God would use on me. I'd heard so many wonderful terms to describe how God would get your attention if you went outside of his will or did anything to displease him. And I was scared, because that certainly couldn't have felt good to God. But you know what? Instead of getting bashed over the head with anything, the God of the universe spoke to me that morning inside my heart in a way I'll never forget. As I was sort of bracing, all I felt and heard was, it really hurts, doesn't it? And I recognized that this huge God I serve was reaching down and meeting me in my suffering and showing me that I actually could now understand a piece of his suffering. And all of a sudden, that floor I was walking on just felt like holy ground, and I couldn't believe it. Really, God? You're going to relate with me on this? And that's exactly what happened that morning. Easter morning, 2009, the day my kitchen became holy ground. And that resurrection of his meant everything. Because now I recognize no matter how many times I fail, no matter how many times I can't do what I think I'm supposed to do, no matter how many times I blow it, I'm not going to be the one to get the 2x4 or the frying pan in the head or the lightning bolt, because guess what? Jesus already took it for me. And now I'm free.